girl. You know, for days now I've been watching you as you walk by. But I've been afraid to come out and tell you exactly just what's on my mind. Well, I think I'm going out of my head.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dubs Only Podcast, episode 7. You know the drill. Follow, like, subscribe, share it with everybody you know on Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all for watching, and let's just get into it for a good episode. And we're just gonna cover week 1 on some games that I thought that stood out to me. So let's just go right into it with the first game, which was my Los Angeles Chargers versus the Miami Dolphins. Now, going into this game, there is a narrative between Tua and Herbert, both being from the same draft class, both being picked one right after the other. Many people thought Herbert was going to go to Miami and then Tua was going to come to LA to the Chargers, but instead it was the exact opposite. Tua went to Miami, and then Herbert came to the Chargers. So there's always been that narrative comparing the two, and and as of right now, well, if you saw the game, the Chargers lost. So right now, Tua's up 2 games to 1 on Herbert. And this is also just a rematch from last season, because last season they both faced off. Tua did not have a great game. The Chargers defense found a way to shut down the Tyreek Hill and being able to build that dome so that no deep passes were able to get done. But that was the exact opposite of what happened in this week, which was completely disappointing, because going into this whole offseason, you could see the Chargers were pretty much hyped up on defense. I mean, you think of you have your edge rushers and Joey Bosa, and you have Khalil Mack. Who do you have in the linebacker? You just signed an All-Pro and Eric Kendricks. Who is your secondary? You have J.C. Jackson, who is coming off a PCL injury, so it's a pretty tough injury to come back from. But he was able to make it back into week 1, and we're gonna dive into him a little later. But you also have another All-Pro and Derwin James. Not to mention Mike Davis, and Asante Samuel. So going into this year, the defense was expected to rise up to the occasion, be able to match the offense, and be able to get the ball back for Justin Herbert so that they're able to score. And the Chargers were able to score. I mean, you saw if you watched the game, the one thing that stood out to me was the Chargers did not throw the ball deep. I don't think at any point in the game. It was more of a run game throughout the whole time, and nothing wrong with that, because the Chargers were able to get 234 yards between Eckler, Kelly, Herbert, Allen, and Everett, and that's amazing. Just because of where the team was last year and running the ball, they weren't able to. They were more reliant on Justin Herbert to play the hero, be able to get those chunk plays, because the run was not able to get more, I want to say, than 3 yards per carry. But that was the exact opposite. Now they average 5.9 yards and 3 touchdowns to go along with it, with the longest run being by Eckler with the 55-yard run. But now let's shift things to the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa going into this offseason, we saw quarterbacks get paid. We saw Lamar get paid. We saw Justin Herbert get paid. You saw Joey B get paid. You saw Daniel Jones get paid. So Tua being in that same class as a Herbert and Burrow, were the Dolphins gonna give him that extension? Do they see him as that long-term guy? Because before he got hurt last season with all the concussions, he was balling out. He was in that MVP discussion, especially with the weapon like Tyreek Hill and a Jalen Waddle, who are 2 speed demons, which we saw in this game, because they were just uncoverable. Once they get into the open field, that's where they get their bread and butter. If you really watch the game, majority of the plays were the same thing, just deep post routes or crossing routes. We're able to get into the open space in the middle of the field and be able to use their speed to get many yards after catch. And that's honestly what killed the Chargers. Brandon Staley decided to just stay man instead of going back to his zone, being able to, in the zone, be able to have someone there, just stay in that specific area, but instead went to a man. And how we talked about Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, 2 premier edge rushers. If you watch the game, you did not hear their names called one time throughout the whole afternoon, and that was pretty much of a shock, just because Teron Armstead, who is their premier right tackle, did not play. Khalil Mack, I don't know who he went up against, but wasn't able to get pressure. Nobody was able to get pressure on Tua. And it's just credit to Mike McDaniels being able to garner a game plan and be able to just surgically destroy the Chargers on defense. I mean, like let's just go to see some stats. Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 4 receptions, 78 yards. Durham Smythe, 3 receptions, 44 yards. Braxton Berrios, 3 receptions, 42 yards. River Crowcraft, 3 receptions, 40 yards. And what I noticed between the whole game was Tua was able to get those third and long, get those crucial third down plays, being able to not just rely on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I mean, he did hit Braxton Berrios, Durham Smythe, people you never heard of, and be able just to share the ball, get the ball to whoever was open. And the running game was not there for them. It was 20 carries for 70 yards, 3.5 yards average, and only 1 touchdown, that being from Raheem Mostert. And let's just look at Tua's stats: 28 of 45 for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I want to say his best pass was that go-ahead touchdown to Tyreek Hill, being able to just miraculously just be able to get it right there where Tyreek didn't have to move his hands, move his body, contort himself. And all he had to do was just have his hands right there, and it just was right in the bread basket. Perfect catch, perfect throw to go up on the Chargers. And just when it's how we're talking about quarterback getting paid, Justin Herbert got paid all his money. Expectations were for him to go down the field, be able to win the game for the Chargers. But fortunately, line did not hold up. The rush got to him, and the Chargers lost. Now, what were some things that led to the Chargers' loss? Now, you can't go out like I said, we're going to get to J.C. Jackson, and this is where my point is with J.C. Jackson. He had 2, maybe more, but 2 bonehead plays that stood out to me were, one, the defensive pass interference before the half. I mean, if you're a veteran cornerback like he is, you don't push a player behind the back, especially when time is running out and you know that they're out of field goal range. If anything, let him catch the ball and keeping him in bounds, run out the clock. But what made it such a bonehead play is that you had 200 other defenders right there to also get the stop. And that was, the whole push in the back was just not necessary. It ended up killing the Chargers because they ended up losing by 2 points. And that field goal they had that field goal before the half, which put them up. Which you take that field goal away, the Chargers theoretically win by 1. So it just wasn't needed. And the other play was great that he made the interception, his first interception since he was with the Patriots in 2021. But terrible on his side because he put the offense at a disadvantage. That he went out of bounds at the 5-yard line, having the offense needing to go all the way down the field to score. But instead of having to just go down, take the touchback, give the offense some room, and go from there. But instead, the Chargers got a 3-and-out. J.K. Scott was forced to punt within his end zone. And the worst part of it was the punt that J.K. Scott had was not that far. I want to say it was like 30 yards. They started at our own 40. So just bonehead plays. And people are going to say, the Chargers curse. Is it time to worry? I don't think it's time to worry yet. But there's a lot of things that we can fix to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. So big ups to the Miami Dolphins. Looked like a very scary team. Honestly, looking like the team that might come out of the AFC East, just because we know what happened with the Jets, the Bills, the Patriots. But we'll get into the other team later. But yeah, big ups to the Dolphins being able to get the win, come to LA and find a way to win it. The next game we got are the reigning NFC champion, the Philadelphia Eagles, taking on the New England Patriots. Now, shout out to the Monk. Me and Monk been going back. We had our phone calls comparing our teams, what schedules, how many games we're gonna win, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And I honestly had the Patriots winning this game just because the significance of the game itself. For those of you who don't know or didn't watch the game, it was Tom Brady Day. It was a day that the Patriots recognized Tom Brady following his retirement. And I just thought that with Brady being there in his presence and the team seeing Tom Brady and being able to play for him, that would garner enough momentum for them to take the win. And it almost did. I mean, the Eagles got out to a hot start, 16-0 in the first. They looked really good. They looked like the team that they were past season. But then they hit a rough spot. You had the Patriots who came back in the second quarter, 14 points to nothing. Going into the half, it was 16-14. And the Patriots were threatening the whole time, keeping Jalen Hurts in the offense, forcing them to punt, keeping them to only 9 points in the second half. Now, they weren't able to score in the third quarter, but they did get 2 field goals in the fourth, and were able to get the ball back. Just unfortunately that on a fourth down, Macaroni Jones threw the ball to his receiver, wasn't able to get the second foot in bounds, but it was very close to being a first down. If only he was able to get that second foot down, who knows? Maybe the Patriots would have gone on to score a touchdown, and we're having a different discussion. But let's go to the stats. Jalen Hurts, 33, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, sacked 3 times. Not a great outing for him, but again, it was first game of the season. Also, rain does play a factor in the ball and how you grip it. So, not really looking too far into it. Kenneth Gainwell, shout out to the Monk again. He's been saying Gainwell is going to be the lead cowbell of the running back group, and he was right. Kenneth Gainwell got 14 carries for 54 yards. Now they traded for DeAndre Swift, and he didn't really amount to much in the first game. But who knows what's going to go into next week. AJ Brown, 7 receptions, 79 yards. Devonta Smith, 7 receptions again, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. And just overall, are the Eagles going to be that team that they were last season? Who knows? I honestly, the way that their season looks, I don't think they'll be as dominant, but I do think they'll still be a team to be reckoned with. And I think because of the schedule of who they are playing, it's just going to make them that much better going into the later games into the season. So, very, very excited to see what the Eagles are able to do. Now let's shift things to the New England Patriots. Macaroni Jones, a lot of people had doubts in him last season. Last season was a pretty bad one just because you had Matt Patricia calling the plays on offense. Macaroni Jones also getting hurt with the ankle injury. But on Sunday, he looked really good. 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. What more can you ask from him? So, glad to see him be able to play well. Now, let's go to the rushing. New England Patriots, they signed Ezekiel Elliott, who they're going to use most likely as a beef back. When I say beef back, I want to say for the short yards, getting that 31 goal line type scenarios. He was able to get 7 carries for 29 yards, averaging 4, longest of an 11-yard run. We'll see how he's going to do down the season. Ramon Stevens, 12 carries for 25 yards. Not really that well. Didn't do that well either. The whole offense, 76 rushing yards, 3.5 a carry average. Yeah. Kendrick Bourne, 6 receptions, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns to go along with it. Hunter Henry, which was a dime by Mac Jones. Dime. So, glad to see the Eagles come out on top. That's going to be my team coming out of the NFC. And hopefully everything keeps going well for them because one, if I was a Chargers fan, I would go root for the Eagles, and two, it's the Monks team, so gotta support the homie. Now let's go to game number 3 that stood out to me, and this one was one that I had my eyes on for week 1, and especially the first set of games of the afternoon, of the morning, afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. And it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Now, why would you say that? What would be so exciting about this game? It's Baker Mayfield against Kirk Cousins. What's so exciting about that? Well, storyline, baby, storyline. You have the Buccaneers who just they needed a quarterback. Tom Brady just retired. Baker Mayfield needed a new team. Who's available? What team is best equipped to win now with the set of roster that they have? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What kind of player is Baker Mayfield? Now people say he's overrated. He's not that good. Just negative things. Now, for me personally, I thought it was just I think it was a shoulder surgery. It was a shoulder injury that kind of ruined his season last year. Not last year, but the Cleveland year. And you play for Carolina, it's not gonna look well. I mean, they're the number. They got the number 1 pick last. Well, they didn't get the number 1 pick. Well, they traded for the number 1 pick, but they were very high in the draft for a reason. So Baker Mayfield, I was very excited to see what he can do just because of his fire, his charisma, his energy, his leadership. How would that mesh with this team who did win a Super Bowl not that like about a couple years ago in 2020? Baker Mayfield, chips on his shoulder. That's the best version of him, is when he's doubted, when people don't believe in him, when they're counting him out. That's when you get that Baker, that especially from Cleveland. I mean, he took a team that was 0-7, got them to a good amount of wins to end the year. Now Baker Mayfield went 21-34 for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked 1 time. I was pretty impressed just because it's his first year with the team, new teammates. How is it gonna look? Early on, it didn't look well. It wasn't going well at all for him. And then that second quarter, he was able just to put it together, be able to find scores, be able to find his teammates, get it out to open people. And the big thing that I was looking for was, how is his chemistry gonna go with Mike Evans? How is he gonna go with Chris Godwin? How is he gonna get it to the other players? And if you watch the game, crucial moments, who did he go to? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Cade Otton, 2 receptions, 19 yards, but majority of his passes went to who? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Evans has 6 receptions for 66 yards and 1 touchdown. A long one going for 28 yards. Chris Godwin's 5 receptions, 51 yards, no touchdowns, but long is going for 16 yards. Godwin got 6 targets. Mike Evans got 10 targets. And again, like I was saying, who did he go to when it counted most? He went to both of those players. Went for the go-ahead touchdown to Mike Evans. Was able to get Chris Godwin when he needed it on that 3rd down conversion to seal the game. But before I even go to that play, the play that honestly made me just spew with energy, spew with relief, spew with just feeling happy for the guy, was when he went away from the play, ran for the first down, and stiff-armed the defender, all in the same motion, going for the first down. To me, that showed heart, that showed leadership, that showed that he's down for the team, he's down to get the win, and also he got into the face of that defender talking shit. I mean, if you don't love your quarterback doing that, then I don't know, man. Something's wrong with you, because you want a player who shows emotion. You want a player who shows that he cares, because it shows that he cares. It shows that he wants it. It shows that he's one of the guys. He wants to be part of this team. He wants to win. That's the type of guy you want leading your franchise. So very glad to see that. Kirk Cousins, I mean, he balled out the first half, but second half kind of dwindled down. He went for 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, sacked 2 times. And let's talk about Justin Jefferson. Had a great first half, but the Buccaneers were able to find a way to shut him down in the second half. Didn't really hear his name much. Really didn't do much in the second half. So, I mean, like we said, this team won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and it's pretty much still intact. You have Carlton Davis still. You still have Lavonte David. You have all the other pieces still. So glad to see that Baker Mayfield got his win. Glad to see that Mike Evans being able to go ahead and score still, because he was on a terrible streak of not scoring a touchdown last season, which was crazy because he was with Tom Brady. But hopefully this changes the narrative of Baker, because this is a proven year for him. So looking forward to seeing just how far he can take the Bucs, and I really am expecting them to go pretty far. And honestly, win the NFC South. You heard it first. How about them Cowboys? 40-0 against the New York Giants. Am I surprised? No. Did I expect a blowout to that magnitude? No. What happened? I mean, right from right when it started, they had the special teams and defense just were all over the Giants. They scored off the special team, got a touchdown right away. The defense just was able to garner. I want to say, let me read the stats. The defense garnered a total of 7 sacks, 2 interceptions. It was just a tough day for Daniel Jones and company at the office, especially at home. Danny Dimes went for 15 of 28 for 104 yards and 2 interceptions. I mean, that's not going to get it done. Then you had Saquon Barkley, 12 carries for 51 yards, 4.3 average per carry. That's not going to get it done. He played his part. He did what he can do, but wasn't able to garner as much offense as he usually does. Let's just go to the Dallas Cowboys receiving, because you have Brandon Cooks, you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Tony Pollard, you have Michael Gallup. You have weapons all over the offense for Dak, especially with Mike McCarthy calling plays for the first time since Green Bay. This was a big opportunity for them to see just how valuable Malcolm McCarthy was, and show them that Kellen Moore. We're not gonna say anything negative about Kellen Moore because he's my OC, but it was just to see a change of pace for the team with Mike McCarthy calling plays. So Dallas Cowboys receiving in total had 13 receptions for 143 yards. And now let's talk about Dak. Dak, 13 to 24, 143, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And some people will look at it saying, "Oh, Dak didn't do much. Dak didn't play well." As long as you don't put your team in harm's way to lose the game, you're having a good game. It doesn't have to be spectacular where you have to go 303 touchdowns. As long as you keep the ball away from the offense, from the other team, be smart with it, make the right decisions, that's all you can ask for in your quarterback. So, not glad, but glad to see Dak Prescott being able to shake some of the doubters, be able to walk away this week with a 40-point dub. And let's just see what happens next week, because this defense is pretty stacked. I mean, you talk about the secondary. You have 2 shutdown corners. I wouldn't call Trevon Diggs a shutdown corner, but you have 2 corners who are able to get the ball and play make, and Trevon Diggs and also Stephon Gilmore, who they traded for. You have Michael Parsons, Dexter Lawrence. You have just a bunch of Malik Hooker, Leighton Vander Esch, Javon Curse, Marquise Bell. Oh, you have a stacked defense. Maybe one of the top 10 defenses in the league. I would be safe to say that. So let's just see how they're able to build upon this, and if they are able to finally ride the ship and be able to have put together some wins and go deep into the playoffs. I know it's week 1, and we always get into this cycle with the Cowboy fans saying, "Oh, we're back. We're gonna win the Super Bowl. Blah blah blah. Look at what we did." Slowly roll, take it 1 week at a time. Let's see how it goes. But off to a great start for the Cowboys. And now for our final game, last night's game, Monday Night Football. Everybody was ready to see Aaron Rodgers' long-awaited debut for the New York Jets. First season outside of a Green Bay Packers uniform. What were the expectations going to be? You look at Hard Knocks, you can see the bonding between the whole team. How Aaron Rodgers is being young and hip with the younger guys. And it was shut down quick. You had, first drive, first couple plays, Aaron Rodgers gets sacked, and then you think, oh, it's all right. He's about to get up right now, but the exact opposite happened. As soon as he got up, he decided to go back down, like something was wrong. And at first, when I saw the replay, I thought, oh, he got twisted up. Maybe it was a high ankle sprain, because the way his ankle went, it was more when Leonard Floyd came down on him with the sack, he kind of came down on his lower leg, and it kind of bent the wrong way. And I honestly thought that's what it was. It was a high ankle sprain. And especially at his age, your body shouldn't do that. I mean, at any age, but especially at 39 years old or however old he is, your body should not be put in that position. Now, the Jets wish it was a high ankle sprain. That did not happen. That was the exact opposite. It was way worse than that. It was confirmed today that he tore his left Achilles tendon. And when we looked at the replay and a magnification of his calf, his Achilles, his leg, you could see the tendon itself snap and just like, I'll show a video down low, but you could see the leg itself just give out. And you hate to see for a player like of his caliber, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, multiple All-Pro, be able to write a new chapter in his book, being able to go the Tom Brady route, join a team that is already built and ready to win a Super Bowl and take them over the top. But that's not the case here. He's out for the season. And the whole expectation was, well, what's going to happen now? I mean, you had the second round pick that you drafted and who wasn't ready to go. That's why you got Aaron Rodgers. And now he's being thrown back into the fire. But hopefully having an off season with Aaron Rodgers, seeing how he goes around his business, see how he takes care of pregame rituals, not pregame rituals, but like see what he does. How does he prepare for the games? How does he watch film? How does just overall prepare and be a pro? How will Zach Wilson perform after that? And he didn't perform bad, but he didn't perform all that well either. He played well. The Bills, the defense was able to get the win, and Zach Wilson was able to do what he could do to garner a victory for them. Now, it wasn't solely him that got the victory. I mean, again, the defense was able to stifle Josh Allen. I mean, 4 turnovers. He went for 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and a fumble late. Just bonehead plays, trying to do too much, forcing the action. And he even said in his own press conference he needs to stop doing that. That's what got him in trouble last season. So we've always built Josh Allen to be he's going to be the one to take down Mahomes. Now that's not the case no more, as we see Joe Burrow is now taking that place. But should Josh Allen continue this trend, do we see him in the same light as a top 5 quarterback? I mean, he was the cover of this past year's Madden. So it's kind of like Josh, it's time now. When are you going to step up and when are you going to make that jump now? When are you going to go to the Super Bowl? When are you going to take your team to the next level? So that's what's riding on his back this season. And it was a very winnable game. He wasn't able to come through for his team. So let's just see how Josh Allen goes. For the Jets, if you're a Jets fan, I mean, you're holding your breath. You held your breath when you saw Aaron Rodgers go down. We don't know what to expect with Zach Wilson. Still very raw. Still very. I don't think he's ready for the moment. I think he still needs some time to develop. Maybe stay behind, watch someone else. But the only way you're gonna get better at something is doing it, and the only way Zach Wilson can get better at playing quarterback is playing quarterback. So, what this team is in a win now, can Zach Wilson take this offense over and be able to win games? He doesn't need to be, again, just like how we said earlier. You don't need to be the quarterback to always go for 303 touchdowns. Is it nice? Is it sexy? Do the fans love to see it? Do reporters love to see it? The media love to see it? Heck yeah, the media loves to see it. Everybody loves to see a quarterback have those type of numbers. But the most important number is coming out with the win. So if Zach Wilson can be able to come up with wins, get wins together, and be able to make the right plays at the right time and not put his team in harm's way by throwing turnovers, then this defense is capable enough to win, to go for a deep playoff run. So we'll see how it goes. And very excited. But overall, this whole week one, in my opinion, it was very disappointing, if I had to say. It was a very disappointing week one. Teams that you expected to win did not win. Players who you expected to have big performances did not. And it's just the NFL, man. It's week one. A couple teams didn't play their first teams out there in the preseason, and this is their first reps together in an actual game. So, again, week one. Let's just see how the season goes. Excited for the whole year, and hopefully the Chargers come out on top because we need a win, man. We need a Super Bowl. That's going to wrap up episode 7. Appreciate you guys for watching. Like, follow, subscribe, share with anybody. I don't really care who. Just get them views up for me. Appreciate you for watching. Dubs Only Podcast on Instagram, YouTube. We're going to get the Facebook. Who knows? We will. Twitter. We'll see. Maybe TikTok. If you didn't see my reel, go ahead and watch it. We're going to put the link down below. But appreciate y'all. Catch you next week for episode 8. Deuce.
Hello, girl. You know, for days now I've been watching you as you walk by. But I've been afraid to come out and tell you exactly just what's on my mind. Well, I think I'm going out of my head. Yes, I think I'm going out of